He was named one of Time magazine's International Heroes of the Environment. He also advised the Clinton administration and appeared in Leonardo DiCaprio's environmental documentary, The 11th Hour. There is no doubt Ray Anderson is waging war on global warming. But as a businessman, he has amassed a fortune at the same time. Interface is the world's largest carpet manufacturer, and Anderson is chairman and founder. He describes as an epiphany the moment he realised the extent of the environmental damage industry and business are responsible for. He's committed his own company to a zero impact by 2020, and in the process has become one of the corporate world's leading proponents of sustainability. On his recent trip to Australia, I spoke with Ray Anderson. Ray, thanks for your time and welcome to the program. You've described it as an epiphany when you saw the light on the environment.
Yep.
How did that happen?
It happened because our customers began asking the question we'd never heard before. Summer of 1994, 21 years into Interface's existence, and we'd never heard the question, what is your company doing for the environment? A question for which we had no answers. And the group in our company said we really got to get people from our businesses around the world and let's see what we are doing. Let's get some answers. And so let's create a task force. And I said, great, go for it. And they said, well, we think you ought to launch the task force with your environmental vision. I didn't have an environmental vision. I didn't want to make that speech. And I dragged my feet and I hemmed and I hawed and finally I relented and the date was set August 31, 1994. Middle of August, I have not a clue. And this book lands on my desk. It's Paul Hawken's book, The Ecology of Commerce. I picked it up, had no idea who Paul Hawken was, began to thumb it on page 19. I came to a chapter heading, The Death of Birth. The Death of Birth. And I began to read, and I quickly learned that that referred to species extinction, species disappearing never ever again to experience the miracle of birth. And that was the point of a spear. Hawken goes on to make the central point of his book in 3 parts. One, the living systems, the life support systems of the earth are in decline. Globally, the biosphere is in decline. The biggest culprit in this is the linear take, make, waste industrial system, of which we're all a part. Digging up the earth, turning it to products that become waste in a landfill very quickly. And then he says there's only one institution on earth that is large enough and powerful enough and pervasive enough and wealthy enough really to change all of that. And it's the same institution that's doing the damage. The institution of business and industry, my institution. That drove the spear deep. And that was the eye-opening revelation. It was truly an epiphany. And I made that speech to that little task force and just stunned them when I challenged them to lead our company to sustainability and beyond, to make Interface a restorative company, to put back more than we take and do good for Earth, not just no harm.
Why did the bell ring so loud for you? A lot of people have seen pretty much the same information but kept walking.
In retrospect, it's probably the fact that I was 60 years old, 14 years ago, 1994. I had already begun to contemplate handing over management to the next generation of management and was asking myself, what do I do now? Do I chase a little white ball? Do I retire to the mountains of the seashore? And then this question begins to come, and I realize that, I don't know what this child of mine, this third child after my 2 natural daughters, I don't know what this third child is going to grow up to be. And this is an important question. And I began to listen. And then all the sequence of events, as if pure serendipity, just came together, and then the spear in the chest.
You describe it as an epiphany. I've read descriptions of you as a sustainability evangelist, an environmental icon, these religious terms. It really seems to have hit you like a road to Damascus conversion.
Well, I think there's a spiritual dimension of, we live on this earth. We have our brief time here. Who can be so presumptuous as to take more than his share? Now, the whole business world is about getting more than your share at the expense of your competitor.
Well,
but taking more than your share is another thing.
You've done that successfully. You built this huge company. You're in the process of building still this huge company. Were you surprised by that conversion?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was stunned myself. And then, you know, it was so clearly the right thing to do. And the great rewarding factor was that very quickly thereafter it became clearly the smart thing to do.